that developing story for us here. All right, so we want to get into the conversation that I promised you here in studio. But before then, I understand that Francis Atwoli is currently addressing Luya leaders. And we just want to cross over there and just listen to a bit of what he's saying, and then we come back to the studio for the discussion.
In accordance with the satisfaction of the head of state, then you lose. So we are not having her here. She has been very supportive, and you have worked well with her sister Phyllis Kandia. We wish her well, and we wish that she's reappointed back to this ministry. This is the only ministry that has looked at the agenda. All the two principal secretaries are also women. Brothers and sisters, the widely believed concept by some employers and governments that higher levels of minimum wage increase unemployment has since been disapproved, and research now shows that equally minimum wage setting increases employment and productivity, and therefore lead to increased economic growth, hence more chances of creating employment for our young men and women. Because when you are fighting for the minimum wage, those people from the treasury, they will advise government otherwise, and employers too. They will say that if we increase too much or we continue hiking the minimum wage, then this will lead to unemployment, and this will create a problem, and any wage increase must be pegged on productivity. Brother, question what I have been asking myself: if you are poorly remunerated, how do you supplement your productivity at your place of work? So it is only opportune that any employer who wants to maximize his profits and make whatever he wants to make, though me I'm opposed to this issue of where people say we want to make money. It's an American language that we need to make money. I have believed time and again that money is not made. People work for money and earn money. Because if you talk too much about making money, then you introduce exploitation of labor, you get opposed to minimum wage increases, and you become insensitive when it comes to collective bargaining and wage increases, and also looking into other areas that concerns workers, allowances, bonuses, retirement benefits, because you want to make money. Indeed, Chair and Sister Sharon, this year, we must thank our government and its leadership, particularly President Uhuru Kenyatta, because after formal tripartite negotiation through the General Wages Council meetings, we failed to agree on minimum wage increase. But the President took it upon himself to make sure that he chaired the negotiations on minimum wage increase. And indeed, against the employer's wishes, he increased minimum wage by 18%, the highest for some times since 2012. And we want to thank the Kenya government for that. As we have said always, we as workers, we will always recognize and remember the initiative that is made by the government if government positively responds to workers' demands. And any government that is insensitive on workers' plight and workers' demand in that direction, we will get opposed to such a government, because no any government can be a government without taxpayers' money. And the taxpayers' money come from workers. And Labour Commissioner, you will agree with me that this is the highest increment from the previous years, where the highest ever recorded was 14% in 2015. And in addition, this year, the President directed for the removal of all taxations on overtime, retirement benefits, as well as bonuses to our members who earn up to Kenya shillings 100,000, that is up to 1,000 US dollars. You are not supposed to pay any taxation. And if this is anything to go by, it remains a huge success in our collective bargaining history as far as minimum wage earnings are concerned in Kenya. It might have been because the president knew very well in the same year he was facing elections. We will look at this gesture again after these elections, and this being his last term for the coming 5 years, if he will remain positive. But if he will think otherwise, we will continue pressurizing them. They're a pressure group, and if he continues doing well, we will wait for his successor. If he doesn't follow the suit, he will always face the wrath and the ire of the workers. To this end, I wish also to comment the Netherlands-based Wage Indicator Foundation for the Wage Indicator project that we have jointly run over the years, recording huge impact in terms of minimum wage monitoring, effects and outcomes to our affiliates who are now in a position to monitor and focus on the erosion of purchasing power of our members and appropriately advise. Sister Sharon, uniquely, those guys and sisters, those brothers and sisters sitting behind there, most of them are general secretaries of our affiliates. Today, in the history of our country, and Labour Commissioner is here, will bear me witness, we have minimized strikes. They have employed professionals in their offices. They have employed economists. They have lawyers with them. And they have people who can monitor and focus on the economic performance of our country and how does it affect the workers, and where can we be able to monitor the performance of the things like inflation rate, cost of living, indices, and so on. And how do we carry out a research on an enterprise and then make a reasonable demand that even if we moved to Industrial Labor Relations Court, we will be able to come out with something. And we have done so. They have time and again signed very wonderful CBAs as they are there. Now having my deputy who runs my union, that is Kenya Plantation and Agricultural Workers Union, with 4 CBAs for me to append my signature without any direct confrontation with employers, apart from few multinationals that later we will give you their names, companies like Unilever, James Finlay, and so on, who are fond of exploitation of labor and maximizing profits at the expense of the lowly placed Kenyans. And also few problems at the EPZ because of the poor management of the authority managing the EPZs in Kenya. But we are narrowing down on them since we are equal to the task system.